please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
Welcome back then. The markets, yes, we are seeing selling pressure. So let's pull out some of these mid-cap stocks then that are moving around. Surbi was just telling me the break. What about BHEL? That stock is suddenly moving high, and it's moving high on very, very strong volumes. So keep an eye out on that one. Shree Cement, in fact, is moving higher as well in the last few minutes. So keep an eye out on that one as well. Both these two counters, we're struggling to find some green. But a few of these stocks are doing well, so we said we pointed out. If you look at it, more number of stocks declining in comparison to the number of stocks that are advancing. So the crisscross lines as well should come up for you. Well, let's focus on our next guest then. We have NMDC who joins us now, the management of NMDC. Remember, sources tell us here on CNBC-TV18 that the prices have been hiked by around 150 rupees, both on lumps as well as fines. Mr. Rao, the Director Commercial at NMDC, joins us. Thanks so much, Mr. Rao, for joining us, sir. Pleasure talking to you as always. If you could give us a sense, have prices been increased? By how much? And tell us, this price increase is only for Karnataka, or is only for Chhattisgarh, or is it for Karnataka as well?
Yeah, thank you very much and good afternoon. Actually, we have increased 150 rupees per ton lump and fines prices. That's about 5% increase over last month, both in Karnataka as well as in Bailadila sectors.
Okay.
It's applicable for both the sectors.
Oh.
Sir, what prompted this price increase? Is it because of the international pricing trends, or because in back home volumes and anyway production has been a problem for you? So where was this price hike coming from?
Now, the price hike has been necessitated because there has been an increase in the international iron ore prices. The pellet prices have also gone up. The sponge iron prices have also gone up. So, based on the market, I mean, the end-use market doing very well, we had
Okay, all right. I think we'll try to have a bit of a technical glitch out there, but that's quite important. The NMDC management, Mr. Rao, is telling us, yes, the price increase is there, 150 rupees. They're saying that, in fact, it's both in Chhattisgarh as well as in Karnataka. Now, I'll be wondering whether or not, Karnataka, the problem should be is that a lot of large players, they are saying that we're not going to be, taking any kind of supply from NMDC because of the pricing. And they've gone ahead and hiked it by 150 rupees. So I'll want to get Mr. Rao back and ask him, how has been the offtake out there? That's clearly struggling. In the last 4 months or so, we have seen offtake in Karnataka just move lower. So I'll want to know, what is that number for August? I believe that, in fact, there was a bit of an uptake, but only Mr. Rao can tell us that.
We'll just try and reconnect with him. But he's saying it's both Chhattisgarh and Karnataka.
And the reasoning is telling us he's saying sponge prices are moving up, pellet prices are moving up, and international prices as well are moving up. So that's, broadly the reasoning why they've increased prices by around 4.5% to around 5.5% on lumps as well as fines. But we have him back with us. Mr. Rao, I hope everything's fine and you can hear us well now.
Yeah, I'm able to hear you.
Okay, superb. All right, so you were just making that point that, in fact, international prices as well have moved up. Give us a sense, what's the difference between international prices as well as domestic prices?
No, I told you it varies from the cluster to cluster. In the Karnataka sector, our import, we are at a discount of 54% on landed basis.
Okay.
And whereas in East Coast and West Coast is around 25 to 30%.
25-30%.
Okay.
So you believe, sir, that NMDC's pricing is at a discount to international imported prices, correct?
Yeah, sure, 100%.
Okay. So the question is, and coming back to the point on offtake, now with this price increase coming in 150 per ton, what are you hoping to do in terms of volumes? Because that's been a very sluggish number over the last several months, I think, since the start of this financial year. So where are your volume numbers now? August, how is August looking? Will there be an uptake in offtake? What are buyers saying?
Yeah, primarily in the first April to June, first quarter, we had problems in Karnataka because the one large buyer not lifting our iron ore. From July, they have started normal offtake from NMDC. And in the month of August alone, they have taken 1.3 million tons. Normally, they take around 8 to 9 lakhs. So we are back to normalcy in Karnataka. We don't have any issues with the buyers. And the sales have become normal in Karnataka. So in the balance year, we would like to make up this loss in the first 4 months of this year.
Okay, all right. So that that large buyer of iron ore has taken 1.3 million tons by itself, sir. Is that correct? What we heard?
Yeah. 1.3 million tons in the month of August.
And even after this price increase, you believe that they will continue to maintain this sort of a run rate? Because that is very encouraging. If they're taking 1.3 million tons, of just looking at the last few months, they have been taking less than 1 million tons or even 900,000 tons. So 1.3 million tons is quite a large number. But even after this price increase, they're okay with it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they are okay with this. And in fact, we are also getting a Vizag steel plant taking from Karnataka. So that's another new customer for us in Karnataka.
Okay, the Vizag steel plant.
So we shouldn't have any problems henceforth in Karnataka.
Okay, sir, then can you give us some numbers? Since things are now turning around on the offtake bit, what is sort of a sustainable monthly run rate you think you'll do as these things normalize, these new customers line up? And for the year as a whole, can you give us a target? How many million tons are you going to do compared to last year?
Last year we did around 36 million tons. We want to do this time 37.5, and we would need a run rate of 3.7 million tons per month.
3.7.
And our past record has been 4.3 also. I think we are comfortable in, 3.7 million tons per month.
So that's a tall ask, don't you think, Mr. Rao? You're being quite optimistic here because in the first 4 months, your dispatches are down by 25%. But you're saying that yet you can go ahead and deliver a growth of around 4 to 5% for the year in terms of sales volumes?
No, what I am saying is that in a month-on-month basis, in a month we can do 4.3 million tons, which we approved last year also.
Yes.
Suppose we maintain a run rate of 3 million tons per month from now on, say from September, we will be easily able to achieve the 37 million ton target. That's what I am saying.
Okay, 37 million ton. 37 million ton target is what you're maintaining, Mr. Rao. So that's quite encouraging as well. Let's hope you'll get there for the good of your shareholders. But the other, niggling worry for the stock market has been that big penalty that was levied. I think it was 7.5, around 70 billion approximately, 7,000 crores or thereabouts is the number that we are working with. That was levied on NMDC. Do you think that is applicable? Have you all, filed a petition against this? What's the status there?
No, there is no finality as yet on that. It is because in terms of the disclosure norms, we had to disclose it. We have done it.
Okay.
So that that penalty is not yet finalized, and in fact, whether it can be levied in Chhattisgarh also is not clear, because the judgment primarily is applicable to Orissa.
Okay.
So it has not reached any finality.
So you are challenging that show cause notice.
It is as per the disclosure norms we have said. Yeah, we can't give. I mean, there is no finality on that, because other states also have not levied such kind of notices. Okay.
Okay, all right, Mr. Rao. Final question before we let you go. Pellet prices have moved up. You all had recently commissioned a pellet plant. If you could tell us what kind of pellet sales are you expected to do for this financial year? I know currently you will not be making any money over there, but when do you expect that plant to break even? Because I understand pellet prices have been moving up as well.
Yeah, pellet prices are moving, in fact, internationally also, and also in the domestic market, especially in the Raipur segment. And our rated capacity is 1.2 million tons per annum. But we had some problems with the beneficiation plant. This is just recently commissioned.
Okay.
This year we hope to do around 4 to 5 lakh tons of pellets.
Break even when?
So far we have done around 1.2 lakh tons of sales. Break even comes around 7 to 8 lakh tons. I mean,
7 to 8 lakh tons.
We need to hit that number.
So FY20 is when you will break even on this pellet plant?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right. Thanks so much, Mr. Rao, for stopping by, giving us all those details. You seem to be sounding very, very confident. Those August numbers that you're giving us are looking quite good as well. You've taken a price increase. Let's see whether or not things look up from now, because 37.5 million tons will be ambitious at this point of time. But you're saying that you've done it in the past and you expect it to do it going ahead as well. Slip into a short break, come back, continue our focus on the markets. Stay with us.
Welcome back, and there's so much happening in the commodity space, the agriculture space as well, where on one side we are looking at the MSP hike in prices, also the monsoons, the international many commodity prices have been trading on the weaker side, and of course the harvest months are just a couple of months away, not even that much, so there's plenty to watch in that space. And remember, it always for the last few times has been about talking about doubling farmers' income. So the government, of course, has been pushing on lots of reforms, right from warehousing to irrigation, storage, and etc. To talk more about that and, of course, what the company is doing and has plans going forward, we are joined by now Sandeep Sabharwal of Sohan Lal & Company. Sandeep, hi, good to have you. Just first your sense on what really is happening on ground. Where is the warehousing and the credit finance happening really when it comes to the agri space?
Yeah, good afternoon, Manisha, and thank you for having me on the show. As far as the ground situation is concerned, I think all the government and the environment is seized to the activity that doubling a farmer's income is a very tall order. It's a difficult one, though achievable. Having said that, if I look at the warehousing industry in total from an organized player scenario, we believe that the warehousing industry is now ready for consolidation. We do believe that the fragmented warehousing industry, which is surviving in its present format, will not survive in the next 5 years because of the fact that the revenues of a warehousing company from a margin perspective is shrinking. Having said that, we also believe that the initiatives of government is actually toying with the idea of more science coming into warehousing. So it's not anymore a scenario wherein you talked about warehousing creation. I believe it is a scenario where we're talking about best practices being brought into warehousing to ensure the storage losses go down, credit comes to the warehousing receipt financing program as by default, thereby increasing the farmer income. Now, all these are definitely matters which actually brew up from a fact that a scientific process and artificial intelligence and all these gambits of science come into the present warehousing situation, which we are finding very slowly but surely happening in the sector.
So Sandeep, tell me, what is the size of the pie right now? What are the kind of investments that are made until now by your company also, and what is the road forward on this one, especially for you?
Yeah, so Manisha, frankly for us as a company, I have a very large investor rooster with me and a large firepower which is made available to me going forward to consolidate this industry. We believe that if I were to look at my last years and our growth forward, we have been growing at about 75% compounded annual growth year on year for the last 5 years, and we don't intend slowing down. And I think that our biggest phase of growth is yet to enter in the next 2 to 3 years by consolidating this industry from inorganic growth. Having said that, from a credit disbursement perspective as well, if you look at our subsidiary Kisan Dhan, we've ended last year by disbursing about 1,650 crores of loans. We believe we'll be doubling that within this year itself. And I do believe that there's a large interest, both inbound and otherwise organic, from financial institutions and banks in India as well, wherein we are seeing leading financial banks coming to players like Sohan Lal to come and put in the best practices, like our patented practices that we have already been putting in for the last so many years, into place to ensure that their collaterals are properly behaving, their risks are properly managed.
And Sandeep, also you've had a tie-up with the BSE as they are all set to launch commodity trade from 1st of October. What really has been the tie-up on that? Because we do understand that the first phase is going to be non-agro space precisely, and you are totally into the agriculture space. So that really is a hint that BSE is not too far when it comes to the agro commodities too.
So on both perspectives, I'll give you a right perspective. As Manisha, from Sohan Lal's perspective, as though we are a predominant agri warehousing company, but we've had some stint in the non-agri sector as well in steel, zinc, and copper. And the SOPs and the agri-reach process that we have patented, or rather it is under patent, actually gives us the ability to cross commodities and provide the same services. Having said that, we do believe that BSE also in the next phase would look at agriculture, and no large exchange or no large agri environment or other commodity environment can leave the agriculture.
Agri.
Yeah, correct. So we do believe that that's up in the offering in its due course of time.
Okay, all right, Sandeep, thanks very much for getting us the details, and thank you, Manisha, as well. As we are taking the break, I'd just like to pull up Bombay Burma once again. This is a stock that's been shooting up last couple of days, and there's a lot of selling coming in today. Just to point out one of the reports that perhaps could have triggered this kind of fall, there is some talk that the Tamil Nadu government is going to take away about 8,400 acres of land. This is a reserve forest area. The matter was in court, and it seems the government is saying that it wants to act now. So perhaps that's something that's triggered profit taking on the stock. We'll take a break. We'll come right back and get you more on the markets.
I think it makes sense to keep an eye out on some of these tea stocks. Actually, Jayashree Tea is moving higher. We'll have to analyze that. We'll try to get you the management in the next couple of days. But Jayashree Tea has moved to the high point of the day. So I think we'll have to pull the intraday chart of that stock up for you. But otherwise, a few stocks, they're getting smacked. I remember the big run that we saw in Kajaria Ceramics. Just take a look at the intraday chart out there. That stock has come in for some profit booking. You have Godrej Consumer as well that suddenly moved lower. And as Surbi said earlier, the number of stocks that are declining have really taken over the number of stocks that are advancing. So those crisscross lines should come up for you on the screen. It seems they're going separate for the weekend. You know, both of them, they are moving in opposite directions. Not too good news for them. But from our point of view, we're going to wrap up on the show. It's a screen is red today. We go to lunch, and business lunch takes all the action forward.